the story of everything begins. In the beginning, as an expression of God's love, He created the heavens and the earth. And inside that universe, He created life that reflected His goodness, humans. But corruption seeped in, separating creation from its creator. Sin and death, through its agents of evil, Satan, entered into the world and co-opted humanity's first couple, Adam and Eve, as its object of enslavement and participants of its evil. Humanity rejected its destiny and compromised her calling. This darkness persisted in dragging us into the abyss as the resentful son of Adam murdered his brother. Humans, lacking an answer to this recurring and intergenerational downward spiral of brokenness, were left with despair, destruction, and death. We were imprisoned by fear of our impending judgment. When human heroes pushed back, they could not overcome. This insurmountable evil power corrupted even the best of us. Resistance was futile because in the end, we were captured in the jaws of death. And this death was worse than merely departing from the material world. It was a permanent separation from the one who created us, the one whose image we all bear. For some, they held out hope, but for most, this was the inescapable human story. We were on our own, left to the life of resistance, an inevitable and defiant resignation to death, material and eternal, that awaits us all. Our inherent goodness, of which we defied from whom it came, was no match for the pervasive corruption we faced. Hell on earth spread from the hell inside all of us. Lies, theft, lust, contempt, hate, abuse, betrayal, torment, rape, murder, suicide, war, genocide. The tragedy humanity faced was much worse than we saw. It was worse than we realized, even as we sensed its unending depth. But God was not surprised by our defiance of Him and its effects on His world. He expected our fall and the powers that sustained it across time. His loving nature acted for our redemption before the universe was even conceived, instead of delivering us to punishment that we deserved. The plan of God, a triunity of community, was to bear the impossible for us, burden required to conquer death, sin, and Satan, and to completely rectify an alienated humanity into the community of God for all eternity, love and justice. That plan involved God becoming human, beginning this journey as a helpless and vulnerable infant. His earthly life would culminate in a monumental and catalytic sacrificial historical event that would transform the very reality humanity faced. His arrival was prophesied and prepared for through Abraham, Israel, and the history to follow. His liberation of humanity was demonstrated in the deliverance of Israel from the oppressive and hard-hearted Egyptian Pharaoh, even as these people subsequently regressed from freedom into exile. Jesus entering the earth was the greatest clash of decisive divine purpose against the ruthless forces of Satan, sin, and death. The vast cosmic war for redemption of all people was at its peak. God's presence among us indicated the seriousness of the situation. It was in this clash that humanity's participation in evil would be showcased. The actions of the dark powers would illuminate humanity's inability to resist and an inclination to participate in the truly horrific. They were both the victim and the perpetrator, but they were in unity against their enemy, God. It is in them we find ourselves, and in the most opportune of times, civilization's fate culminated in a critical moment with Jesus of Nazareth, born as a Jew from his mother Mary, in the Garden of Gethsemane. It was at this moment when the forces of evil desperately mobilized their spiteful power to stop this mission, a mission that would change everything for everyone forever. And there, while we humans were enemies of God, we enter into the stunning multidimensional story of our redemption, from the garden to the cross.